there was various drama group drama, which probably shouldn't be much of a surprise, but it's always a bit frustrating when it happens. So yes, back again. I think this probably means that the board sections over there are now probably suitably dry and set up and ready to carry on working with. Let's take a look at those. It's also got a bit gloomy while I was away, but I'm hoping quite hard that means that's just because it's starting to get dark, because it's November, rather than because it's starting to rain soon or anything like that. But let's take the clamps off. Two. That now seems to be reasonably together. There are some slight gaps on here. I might need to try and fill these in at some point. Some slight gaps between the pieces of wood here, but we'll see how much that actually matters later on. So, one. There's a bit of that glue there is still a little bit squishy. Maybe this isn't quite as set as I thought it was. I guess I'll try cutting through them, find out what happens, see how that goes, and well, maybe it can be all right. We shall find out. It'll be an experiment, and we can learn together. Now, is the correct chat showing up? That's my next question. Okay, there's not been any chat yet, so that could just mean it's not. It's got a silly shape. Come on, OBS, stop being difficult. There we go, scroll. Right, so let's see, first things first. So we'll come back over here and have a good think about what we're going to do next. This is basically going to be there's going to be lots of using the table saw, so we'll start off by doing that. So get the knife back out of position. Like that. Somewhere around it, yes. Tighten that back up again, like that. And then, that's just straight through. I've forgotten how to do this now. Oh yeah, pull this out first, and then. Now I have genuinely forgotten how to use it. It's only been a couple of hours. Make sure it's unplugged first, before messing around with it too much. And obviously there's the lever here to turn it over, but I'm not quite ready to do that yet. I need to put the blade into position first. What have I forgotten? Fears he's catching. I don't know what. I don't know why, rather. This is going to be an exciting. It's going to be an exciting stream if I can't even move the store bed, isn't it? I mean, yeah, so I can theoretically I could do this and turn it over now, but it's not going to do any good. It's not going to work as a table saw. Oh, this is also the way. Move that back down to over here before. But that's not what's stopping it from doing it. As I say, turn the whole thing over, but then it'll catch here because it's still in microsaw mode, not table saw mode. looks like this has come up too high over here and got stuck in something. I'm very confused. Hello there, hello some chat. Hello persistent as well, welcome. Oh, microphone's not really. If I was actually using it, I push this toggle at the top. This is you're over here. I push this thing at the top across. That unlocks it, so it should then go down, and should also allow the that's interesting. The guard here is stuck. Maybe I'll put this across too soon. I'll need to. Something up here doesn't feel quite right. It does feel a bit tight. This guard, I'm going to pull that. Oh, there we go. That's the guard moved out of the way. Nice in place. Okay. Oh, now it's moving. Right. So the guard was stuck. That's into the problem, and I'm not quite sure exactly what I did wrong there, but yes, it seems to be working now. So yeah, actually coming and looking at this end again was a good shout. Thank you for suggesting that. We'll put that back down there again. Now I can whack the handle over here, like that, and flip the whole thing over again. Big cloud of sawdust comes out. Right, so now once again I have a table saw. So that means I can take these pieces, start cutting slices off them. And now, as I was saying earlier, I want these to be about. That was still squishy. I wanted these to be about 2 or 3 centimetres thick, maybe 2.5 centimetres thick probably, to go with these pieces, which are eventually going to be, these bits are going to glue onto the side of there, like that, on the flat side of it. And that's going to make up the, and then this part on here is going to be the top side of the chopping board. So I need to go through and cut these into slices, like that, to get them to be about the right sort of thickness. So let's do that. First I need to set this up in about the right place. There we go, I think. Where's my tape measure, which is always a fun game when I'm trying to do DIY stuff. Somehow I always manage to lose tape measures. It's just one of those things. But this time I've managed to find it quite quickly, so that's good. That's about 3 centimetres. Let's make it a tiny bit less. I don't want to go too short, or all the pieces I get out will be so small they won't be working. I'll end up with very, very thin boards at the end, and I don't want that. I think that's probably a good size. That come out now, so we should do. Yeah, it's a bit over 2.5 centimetres, so I think that's probably about. Need to plug it back in again. Go. And I need to find my push stick again. There's one of them. The things that stop me putting my hands too close to the blade are very, very important. There's this one. And they've done quite well so far. I haven't seriously damaged them, so which suggests if I had been using my hands, I'd probably been safe. But you know, probably isn't really good enough when it comes down to trying not to cut your own hands off with a paper saw. I just remembered actually, the tops of these are all waxed, so I want to take a little bit off first to get that down to a nice smooth edge before I start. So bring this in a bit further, put it about there. A bit overkill actually. Put it about there. Yeah, and at the very least, if I run it through here and it turns out that's not enough, I can always run it through again. And I'll do all 3 of them at this depth. Get them all cleaned up and ready to carry on with. And then I can cut out the pieces that I actually want to use. So let's see. Plugged in, safety glasses on, blade height. Oh, blade height, that's a good one. Am I still just as quiet as I was before? Because I think Well, the computer's in the same place. I'm talking in the same way. I don't think I've changed any of the settings. Blade height is an excellent shout because it's completely wrong. Frank. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, now I think I'm probably ready. Okay, as long as you can hear me, then that's probably all right. And a bit quieter is probably not entirely a bad thing, given I'm about to turn the table forward. And the table's all quite moving. Nice, well, reasonably smooth. It's a little bit rough down there at the bottom because the blade came away from the wood there a little bit because I wasn't going all the way through it. So, but that's fine. That's reasonably smooth, and will be made smoother later with sanding. So, one. Bits of dry glue on here, and actually this piece, I've not lined those two up very well. Sticks out quite a lot further than the one next to it, so I might need to shuffle the fence across. Yes, definitely shuffle the fence out a little bit. That one. Okay. Covered myself in spray of red sauce. A messy job. I said you are supposed to use dust extraction with one of these, but I've gone for doing it outside and deciding and intending to come around with a broom later instead. So there we go. That's again. Actually, that's smoother than the other one was. That must be even better. And now number 3. This one, actually, this is I think this is the best one I've made so far. All of that along there is not smooth, but much closer than some of the other ones. I'm quite pleased with that. I think that means I can move it back across a little bit. I'm also going to pull out the random pieces of wood that are in the middle there. Yeah, I don't need to shave very much off this one at all because it's about right already. Yeah, YouTube is a bit frustrating with the not being quite caught up. So. Yeah, work trousers are probably a good idea. I probably should have worn older jeans, but never mind. It's just sawdust. It's not like it won't. It'll dust off or wash out. Okay, we are now at the point I thought we were at a few minutes ago. So I'll pull this back out again to about 2.5, 3 centimetres point, and then I can start cutting off pieces that I'm actually going to use, rather than just making piles and piles of sawdust for no good reason. Yep, that's about. Yeah, maybe a tiny bit more than that. I was going to say that looks about right, then I realised I was looking at the wrong side of the blade. The blade is certainly more than 1 millimetre thick, so it does make a noticeable difference to how much you're cutting off. Slightly too much. Yeah, there we go, that'll do. Okay, so now I'm just going to run the whole piece through repeatedly and taking off about 3 centimetres at a time until I run out of wood, and then I'll move on to the next one, and then the next one, and that'll give me hopefully give me all the pieces I need to build these boards. And my concern is actually I'm not going to get as many out of this as I thought I was. I suspect I'm worried these are going to be rather small boards if I'm not careful. So I'd like to build at least more. Definitely want to build more than one of them. The amount of effort I put into this. So let's try and make it a little bit thinner. Like that. Yeah, still noticeably over 2 centimetres. So I think that's probably all right. Okay, I'm going to say I didn't leave the glue long enough to set, so I think I'm going to have to stop this and go and just leave the glue to set overnight, because that has clearly not worked. I'll try putting these back together again, see how well they may actually hold quite well, because the glue is still pretty wet on these. I'll put these back together, and I think actually I'm going to have to call it for the day, because I've run out of things I can do at this point. I am now going to just be waiting for the glue to set up, properly on this one and on all of that as well. So that's going to be the shortest stream ever, because I can't think of anything else I really need to do on this project. Sorry about that. I know you were hoping to watch for a bit more, a bit longer and a bit more interest and so on, but I don't think there's really much else for me to do. I will whack a clamp around this though, so that is a thing. I'll try and get them all lined up as well. Put a bit of effort into tidying it. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but I don't think it's actually damaged anything. So I put that back together now, and I think the glue will set and hold and everything. So it's probably not going to matter at all. But yeah, there's not much else really to do now, I think, because we're at the point where virtually everything is ready for me to move on to the next stage, except the glue's not dry. So we've got these pieces. These need to be chopped up into their narrow strips. I've got these which I've already chopped up, but I can't start gluing to things until I've got these in their strip form. So yeah, that's about it. I could spend half an hour with the hand saw trying to go through one of the logs. Like, where's it gone? Yeah, so I did spend some time just after at the end of the last stream cutting this off, and that's this. Ignoring the part on the side there that's rotten, so I'll clean that off. I'll cut it across here and here, so on. This would make quite a nice centrepiece for the boards, I think, if I can find a good way to do it without it isn't going to be hugely wasteful of all the bits I've already made. So I might faff around a bit, cutting these up, and doing some other prep work with the other few pieces I've got, like this one. Chop these up into the same sort of smaller pieces as well. But now I've got a bit of an idea what I'm doing, hopefully it'll go a bit quicker and I can get that sorted out. But I'm not going to be doing anything new and interesting, so there's probably no point in making you watch it. So, I mean, unless you actually want me to leave the stream running, I'm not sure there's really any point, because it's just going to be stuff you've already seen. That's a bit of a disappointment. Sorry about that. I was expecting to be able to carry on and do another dimension of the boards, essentially, at this point. So, yeah, I guess that's not to be. Also, actually, yes, I think cutting these off and having these as a centrepiece, so as much width of that as I can get, and then some other bits on the end of it to make it full width of whatever I decide that's going to be, will be quite good. And I think I'll spend a bit of time thinking about the size I want these boards to be, and work out how many pieces I'm going to get. So, yeah, it's not the greatest of streams, unfortunately. Hello, Kong. I am making end grain cutting boards because it's a bit of a cliche, but it's something. But it sounded like an interesting thing to try and make for some Christmas presents. So I'm working towards that. But I've run into a bit of an issue that my glue hasn't set properly from the first glue up. So there's not really much more I can do at this point, which is a little bit silly, but a bit unfortunate. But what can you do? The glue's not set, so I can't carry on. So, okay, I'll give you a bit of an explanation of what that means. So, this is a piece of wood. Actually, no, this is a better example. This is a normal, traditional, standard plank of wood. This is from my sort of offcuts pile, so it's not one that's actually going to be used for the boards. But I thought I'd have it around in case it was useful. So you've got various types of grain on it. You've got face grain or side grain, which are the ones where the grain runs more or less along the board like this. And then you've got end grain, which is the end of the board here, where the grain sort of comes up to the end of it. And this surface, because of the way the wood is designed, the way the wood grows, this surface makes for a good cutting board, and also can look quite pretty. So the idea is that you get lots of pieces of wood. Cut them in an appropriate way so that you get lots of end grain showing like this. Then you cut them into thin strips across here to make them, and then put them all next to each other. So you've got a board shape, and then you can sand down and polish and oil the surface, and it makes quite a nice, pretty, attractive cutting board. At least that's the theory. That's what I'm working towards. Never done this before, but I've watched a few videos on it, so therefore I'm obviously an expert. And that's what I'm working towards at the moment. And with varying levels of fail depending on which particular step I'm at the time. Putting screws into it would be absolutely horrible because then you have massive holes all the way through everything. So no, definitely not going to do that. Better idea is just to leave it for 24 hours instead of leaving it for 2 hours, and then it'll be properly set and I'll be able to carry on. The redwood is, I've forgotten what it is actually because I've cut all the pieces off and blocked all the labels. I did take a photo before I started though, so I've got a note somewhere. Let's see if we'll find it. Right, the red one is The red one is a type of wood called Padauk, P-A-D-A-U-K, or Padauk. I'm probably going to pronounce it Padauk, because that seems reasonable. And then I've also got some other ones as like Panga Panga, which is the dark one, like this one. Chamfuta, which is also reddish, probably that one. There's one called Knobthorn, which is one of the brown ones. Masasa, which I think might be that one. And Wild Mango, which is this one underneath here. So yeah, the idea is put in a variety of different woods, and then you get a reasonably interesting pattern across the board. At least that's the hope. And to make it a little bit more interesting, I've got these extra pieces over here. I forget what they are. They sort of smell vaguely like pine, but I'm pretty sure they're not pine. And these came from my parents' garden, so they're interesting for that reason rather than because they're especially pretty. Also, this one, which again I've forgotten the name of, but hopefully my dad's going to be able to remind me at some point, also came from their garden, but this is a bit harder to cut up because the piece of wood is too thick to go through the table saw, either in mitre or in table saw mode, so it's not really safe for me to cut it up without a bandsaw, and I don't have a bandsaw, so I'm just going to have to hang on to this until I find some other way of doing it. Or perhaps go through it with a handsaw, but I'd rather not do that because that's a lot of effort. Yeah, I bought the pieces I bought are all relatively small chunks like this one. So they came in sort of they're offcuts from other larger things that have been made, I assume. So because of that they're quite a lot cheaper. In fact, I think I will cut these up a bit more and make another couple of these rows, or at least make. Because as I was saying, I do like the idea of having this wood as a sort of centerpiece for the board, because I think it looks quite nice. And if I can cut that down, get rid of all the cracks around the edge, and get sort of a decent sized square out of it, I think it would look really nice in the middle. But I'm not really sure how best to do that. Unfortunately, I think it might be with one of these, because I don't have a big enough powered saw to go through it, which is upsetting because it's a lot of effort to use a handsaw. Let's find out just how much effort it is. Tripod's closed. Helpful. Unplug the big saw because it's not safe. Probably not, if I answer that. No, it's not going to work. I threw the clamp onto the lawn, and when it landed, a cloud of sawdust appeared. Which cable I have dangling? If you mean that one down there, that's a fixed part of the saw, basically. That is the power cable. It's part of the saw. I can't really do anything else with it, I don't think. No, it is cable tied. It's cable tied in place underneath, so I can't do much with that. The grass is a bit long. It's basically spent the last month. It's rained more or less constantly, so I haven't. Yeah, it's basically rained constantly the last month or so, so I haven't had a chance to mow the lawn, upsettingly. Which is why it's a bit of a stake, as you so kindly pointed out. This is where I demonstrate my terrible technique with a handsaw and show everyone why the channel is called Laurence Plays Power Tools instead of Hand Tools. It's also not a very good handsaw, which doesn't help, and I've got nothing to lean against properly. yeah, I'm not going to make you all watch me torturing a piece of wood with a handsaw for several days while I try and get all the way through it. So, yes, this has been a bit of an abortive stream attempt, I'm afraid, so I think I'll... Oh, the camera cable. Okay, yeah, it is asking for trouble. It's got unplugged at least 3 times during the previous stream. I've got quite a lot of clamps, but there's nothing really to clamp it onto. So yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream there, start tidying up, and then I'll start it up again tomorrow at some point when I shall be attempting to finish this off once the glue is set. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the slightly rather somewhat shorter than normal stream there. As I say, I'll be back tomorrow and trying to finish it all off then. So I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I've got a bit of tidying up to do now. So I'll see you later.